back to the channel. If you've seen some of the recent videos I've done, you know that I love comic books, you know that I love Marvel Comics, but you also know that I like to keep things even-handed when it comes to certain things. Recently, they made some changes to the story of Adam Warlock. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of Adam Warlock, so I'm not going to be biased on this. The fact is, when it comes to this particular character, he has a story, he has an origin, he has a lore that they need to follow. And one of the funniest things they've done with Adam Warlock is Marvel Comics is seemingly going to change Adam Warlock's origin and introduce Eve Warlock, because I couldn't even say it, who is stronger, faster, and smarter. Now, I don't mind having a strong female character in Marvel Comics. They always had many who are like that. You have Rogue, you have Storm, you have even Captain Marvel. Granted, I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel, but with Storm and Rogue, you have already these impressive, badass female characters who are very much fan favorites. And this particular character, Eve Warlock, kind of, it's an oxymoron because of the fact that Eve Warlock is, in fact, not possible. Warlock is a male witch. That's the name. I mean, granted, the character is not he's not a witch. He's not a male witch at all. In fact, he's got more like an alien power. So it's kind of hard to describe how these characters, what they're intending to do. So the fact that they're calling her Eve Warlock is, I can't even say the name. What the heck? I'm going to go ahead and open up this article that I found regarding this news update. So, I'm bounding into comics. This article written by John F. Trent. Again, nice. Marvel Studios, or Marvel Comics, announced that they will be seemingly changing Adam Warlock's origin in an upcoming solo series titled Warlock Rebirth. For those who are unfamiliar with Adam Warlock's origin, the character was first introduced in Fantastic Four number 66. In that first appearance, it's revealed that he is the creation of a group of human scientists operating out of a place called the Citadel of Science. This group's aim was to create a new race or breed of living beings that they could control in order to conquer mankind. Their initial results were a success, with the creation of him, who would later be known as Adam Warlock. However, the scientists failed to implement their control mechanisms and contain the sheer power invested in Adam Warlock. Okay, come on. Alright, so, I never should have allowed weaklings like you to join me. The plan was so perfect, so foolproof, we would create an entire new race, a new breed of living beings who would conquer mankind, but they would be ruled by us alone. We should have known you were mad if only we hadn't been blinded by greed. We should have known we couldn't control something so supremely powerful. Now, pardon my cheesy voice acting. So, it continues. Warlock revolts against his creators after knowing about their evil intentions. He then harnesses enough energy to leave the planet Earth. And by doing so, he destroys the Citadel of Science and the scientists that built it. Monster! Whatever else he may be, he isn't a monster. He's everything we wanted him to be, and more. Far, far more. So it's you who were my creators. I'm not even going to try to read it like that. Okay, forget the voice. I know the true nature of your evil plans, therefore I have no reluctance to do what must be done. This planet of humans is not for me, not yet, not till another millennium has passed. Thus I shall take my leave. No, wait! If you harness enough energy to depart, you'll destroy us all. Does the Yiger concern himself about the flea? Mankind will never know that I have saved it from the menace of this hidden human beehive. But someday, a half-remembered legend may tell of the time a cocoon burst open, proving in one cataclysmic moment that the child is father to the man. Mission: destroy the Fantastic Four, I'm guessing. Okay, so, after leaving Earth, Warlock would eventually get caught in Watcher's space trap and return to the cocoon, which gave him life. The Watcher would return him to Earth, where he would face off against Thor in Thor number 165. I need to read these comics. They look like fun. Upon awakening on Earth, Warlock encounters Thor, Sif, and Balder. He notes that he is lonely and wishes to find a mate and chooses Sif. A battle breaks out when Warlock sends both Thor and Balder flying while declaring, "Sif must be mine!" There are none who oppose me. So it says, "There is no more need for words. I have no wish to harm you, so you must go. It is only the one called Sif who shall remain. Forsooth, I warn thee not, anger Thor." Anger? I do not know. I do not care of such petty emotion. Sif must be mine. There are none who may oppose me. Thor would eventually gain the upper hand on Warlock by tapping into warrior madness. The increased fury would force Warlock to return to his cocoon and shoot off into space, leaving Sif behind. So it says, what? Knowing thy battle hath been lost, thou seekest shelter within yon swiftly forming cocoon. Nay, Thor will not be cheated. Pardon my... I'm sorry. I'm laughing at myself. Okay, but not in the power of the thunder god can tear thy sheath apart. I'm sorry. I'm making fun of myself at this point. Okay, so 'tis fully formed, thou art totally encased, but now what awesome bolts of energy do burst from thy cocoon? Mine eyes must close, lest they be blinded. He flees, hurtling outward into space. Thor hath battle won, but victim lost. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try that again. Anyway, so Warlock would drift through space, eventually running into the High Evolutionary. After the High Evolutionary's plan to create Counter-Earth is usurped by his previous creation, Man-Beast, Warlock volunteers to serve the humans that the High Evolutionary created in order to prevent the High Evolutionary from destroying the entirety of Counter-Earth. Warlock's choice was made because he saw the goodness in the creations of the High Evolutionary. The High Evolutionary not only acquiesced, but provided Warlock with the Soul Gem before he sent him down to Counter-Earth. So I'm not going to read all these. Okay, so it continues. In a blog post providing details about the new series, Marvel noted that the series from Ron Mars and Ron Lim will reveal a never-before-seen chapter of Adam Warlock and his fascinating origin. This never-before-seen chapter will introduce a character named Eve Warlock, who is described as someone stronger, faster, and smarter than Adam himself. Which they've done this so often. I wonder if it's really original. Anyway, on top of being superior to Adam Warlock in what appears to be every way, she will also strip Adam of all his power. Eventually, so she castrates him, removing his abilities, and basically just spits on him and says, "Drown your sorrows, eunuch." And there you go. He is now no longer Adam Warlock. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Marvel Comics has done something like this. Back in the Incredible Hulk Annual number 6, it is revealed that Warlock didn't actually kill the scientists. Rather, they were banished to another dimension. Of course, because it's Marvel. I agree. This is how you do things. You want to bring back a character, you do it like this. And so it continued their mission by creating a new being. The scientists recruit Doctor Strange for their project to perform a neurological procedure that will bring this new being under their control, unlike their failed attempt with Adam Warlock. The a bit of gas there for some reason. Okay, so the procedure proceeds as Morlock and his fellow scientists wanted a new cocoon. Let's say they wanted a new cocoon. Okay, and right here, this this little... Okay, so the new cocoon gives birth to a being called Paragon. I like that alone, that name, Paragon. After an epic battle with Doctor Strange and the Hulk, who was on the hunt for Doctor Strange, Paragon reveals he had previously learned about Warlock and knew of the scientists' evil intentions. He found a way to subvert their control mechanisms and transform into an energy being. He then proceeds to destroy the base known as the Beehive before retreating back to his cocoon. Pardon that noise in the background. So it continues in this comic book panel. While in another chamber below, it is done. But I must return to the cocoon. I must return to the cocoon, for my metamorphosis is not complete. I am form without direction. I have no purpose beyond the beehive. So shall I remain within, meditating until I find such a direction. And on that day, Paragon shall live again. I like this character. I gotta read these comic books. These are the good ones. These are so entertaining. The cocoon would eventually be discovered in New York City and dragged out of the water. Upon being dragged out of the water, an energy being bursts forth and proceeds to locate the Thing and Alicia Masters. Upon locating the duo, who were enjoying some adult beverages by candlelight, the being reveals itself to be her. Her then explains that she realized that her purpose is to mate with Adam Warlock in order to create the perfect race. Her also explains the reason for transforming her physical appearance. To that end, I have altered my form to be his physical counterpart. While in the cocoon, I had learned that I was the second such attempt at a genetic paragon. The first time was a being known only as him, who left Earth for a home in the stars. I have concluded that my purpose is to mate with him, to create the perfect race. Toward that end, I have altered my form to be his physical counterpart. Her would eventually travel with Moondragon, Alicia Masters, and Ben Grimm to Counter-Earth, where she discovers the grave of Adam Warlock. Using her abilities, she's able to resurrect Warlock's physical form, but fails to have returned his soul to his body. This is all very creepy now at this point. I prefer the other part. Paragon, the character Paragon, seems more entertaining. And this kind of seems weird. The character would take on a number of names throughout Marvel's history, including Aisha, and most recently, Kismet. It's unclear if her will be revealed to be Eve Warlock, or if Eve Warlock is a completely new character that will change Adam Warlock's origin. One assumes these questions will be answered in Warlock Rebirth's first issue, which is expected to debut in April. One thing does appear to be clear, is that the character will have some kind of relationship with the High Evolutionary, as he is depicted in the interior art. My guess is he's going to be some kind of mentor or something. But it's kind of hard to say whether this is going to be good or bad. I'm not one to judge these stories. In particular, I don't know much about Adam Warlock to begin with. What I do know is that if they try to just eradicate Adam Warlock, to remove him completely, remove his powers and all that permanently, the story's going to suck. And that's just, I'm trying to be light here, but the fact is, I've seen so many characters who are male just be thrown to the side. As it is with Marvel, I'm hoping they don't do that with Ant-Man. If they try to remove him, if they remove Ant-Man and put all the focus on the daughter, that's going to suck. Now, I don't mind the daughter working with him. That's a cool story. But just like with this, I think it would be great if Eve Warlock tries to fight him, and eventually they are met at it ends up being a stalemate, and basically they have Eve Warlock essentially learn who she is or what she should be, just as the other Paragon, how he figured himself out and became a she. It's just kind of, or became her. I'm just sorry, it's just too funny. The language behind it is just hilarious. But, personally, I don't think there's too much wrong with it. I think that there is potential for a great story. But, I'm hoping, like I said, that they do not take away Adam Warlock's powers. It's the worst thing that they could possibly do. Anyway, there's not much more I can say about this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been Create TV. I'll see you next time.